Hi, I'm Gilbert Smith of Arbor Smith.
And I'm Leslie Smith, and we're here today to talk to you about sprouting in our kitchen. This is a class that we teach at the Chicago Botanic Garden, and we're going to try and reduce it down to the simplest elements so that you can try this at home.
Sprouting is easy, it's flavorful, it's healthy, and it can be done in the kitchen without any special equipment. So you can sprout just about any seed you want, and we have here seeds that we've gotten from different locations. Here's one from Sprout House.
We have Food to Live. We've also bought microgreens from local garden center stores, and even our Whole Foods often has seeds for sprouting. We've ordered them as well from Johnny's. And so if you just Google sources about organic seeds for sprouting, you'll come up with all kinds of options. These are just some of the ones that we've used.
And I've kept some of these for as long as 4 years. Just as long as you keep them in the fridge, they're fine. So I wanted to point out over here we have amaranth. It's one of the oldest cultivated grains in history, and it is being sprouted in a reused plastic chicken container.
And it's a beautiful color, so it makes a great garnish for your dishes.
And it's full of anthocyanins, which are strong antiviral, anti-cancer. This is broccoli, very strong anti-cancer, and we just take a little bit of this every day and eat that in our salads or in our sandwiches. And these have only been growing for about 10 days, and they were harvestable at about 5. So this is red cabbage and a mixed green, which is my favorite because it's the simplest, and basil. You can see the basil isn't very far along, but all 3 of these were started about 4 days ago, so this was pretty fast germination. So I wanted to demonstrate quickly how easy it is to plant microgreens. So I've got planting soil, potting soil that's organic, and I put in about a handful into this little platter. Maybe it's a 1/2 inch deep, and I tamp it down, level it out just a little bit. Then I water it.
With this expensive squirty bottle that you can get for $1.95.
Yeah, and you can see I want to make the soil nice and wet so that it washes out the inhibitory enzymes that keep plants from germinating. Next, I'm going to take some kale from Mountain Valley Seed, and the amount that I'm going to use is just enough to cover the bottom of the planter. And I wanted to point out that all of these planters have holes drilled in the bottom so that the water will drain out.
If we don't do that, then they can get waterlogged and they'll rot and die. So it's really important to drill some holes in the bottom of these plastic trays.
So I used, just 2 or 3 spoonfuls of these kale seedlings, and I kind of covered the bottom. Now I'm going to spritz it again.
This is a job that the kids really like.
And I get it plenty wet. You can almost not overwater it.
Because you've already drilled holes in the bottom.
Yes. And that washes out those enzymes, and it allows the plant to germinate. And then I take a cover. By the way, this is a solid cover that I bought from a chalet garden shop.
And it's essentially a planting tray. It's like $1.39, and probably available at any garden shop. It's 10 by 20 inches, and we're using it here as a mimic for the soil that would normally be on top of these seeds.
Right. So I put the cover on it, and every morning I come in and I spritz it and then I cover it back up again for about 3 or 4 days until it comes up about an inch, until it germinates, and then I expose it to the sun. And in the morning, instead of spritzing it from the top, I just put a little bit of water in the bottom, and that soaks up through the bottom. And
How long do you have to wait, Gil, before you start watering it from the bottom instead of spritzing it from the top?
just till they germinate, until they're a little bit up out of the ground. And the reason that I water from the bottom is so that the water absorbs through the bottom and it doesn't wet the top, because when you're wetting the top of the plants, the leaves, it may get moldy. So it's a simple thing to do, morning and evening.
Which is another great reason to do it in your kitchen, because then you don't forget. We usually have reminders on our phone to kind of remind us, time to water the sprouts. And it's important to remember when you're doing your watering that germination is a fancy horticultural term for the seeds actually breaking the little sprout out of the seed, and that's the point of germination.
I wanted to point out one other thing. Here in this tray, which I got again from Chalet Nursery, it's a sprouting tray, and I'm not even using any soil. These things will still sprout without soil if you just water them twice a day. So good luck. This is just simple and fun, and it's really good for you.
And if you have questions, feel free to email us on our website, info@thearborsmiths.com, and look for additional information on our Wisdom from the Trees. Have fun.